Hey guys, today I'll be breaking down the radical transformation that Operation Resurgence has gone through. It's been a bit over a year now, so I'd like to break down the painful start and then the important steps forward that brought the game to where it is today. Okay, so I'm kind of going to be revealing my initial thoughts that I genuinely had when I got in the update. I will be putting clips from the stream that I had up for whenever it dropped. So first off, I'd like to give some context. Most YouTubers, including me, J we started streaming like hours before the update, not realizing how long it would take for the drop. And before this stream, it had been about a year since we had an update, so we were getting hyped for it, getting ready. So there was a lot building up to this moment. So if the update was good, that was going to be great, and that's what we expected. But we expected nothing short of perfection because of how long it had been, the just hype of the moment, and so we really set ourselves up to hope for the best. And when it came out, these were my real thoughts. I thought it was a weird look slash like feeling. The animations just felt kind of quirky and everything just looked off to me, especially the place where you initially spawned in. It's just like a weird bright blue screen. Everything looked like a generic Roblox simulator. It had horrible weapon recoil and FOV in my opinion. There were bugs galore all around everywhere you looked. I'll put clips on the screen of this. It was admittedly not really prepared. I think they knew they needed a little more time, but it had been so long, so they just went ahead and kind of went for it. The progress was lost for the most part in the things you had. They threw money at you so you could kind of regain some of those things, but it was obviously a cheap fix for what was a pretty significant issue. Like I already mentioned, the time it took for the update and the fact that PvP was unfinished. That was my list that I made that were the key points of what led me to really not liking it. Deep down, I kind of hated it. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was horrible, and my expectations were way too high, but it didn't even come close to meeting them because it was more negative than positive, in my opinion. And the community, for the most part, did resemble that. There were some good few amount of people that liked it, but a lot were iffy on it, and a lot just hated it. I stayed neutral on it because I knew it would take time to fix it, and I had hoped that things would get better. And I'm just going to say that I definitely think it has. I'm going to break down how that happened, though, step by step. We're going to go through each update that I believe was pivotal, and I'll mention the side notes of the mini updates as we go along. So, of course, we'll start off with the first update after the drop. They fixed up the lighting. They lowered the costs of a lot of things because the community was complaining about price a lot, and I think that was a fair concern. Things were definitely really high up on that end, so they started to bring that down a little bit, which was definitely a good move. They fixed up the recoil and FOV a little bit. I believe they changed it even more later down the line, but they started to make a step back in the right direction because I think that it looked kind of wonky how they currently had the recoil upon drop. And they also did some bug patches, which, man, they needed that, and there was so much to work on after. There was so many things that were glitching on the initial drop, and I know they did an entire code revamp, so it makes sense that this came with it, but there was an abnormal amount of bugs and glitches for sure. So now we'll move on to 6.0.4. We got private servers back, a much needed feature for streaming in private events for recording. So as far as it being a YouTuber myself, that was very helpful. I'm glad we got that back, but I think it should have been there initially on drop. I think everything we had before the Operation Resurgence, like everything we had in Viper, I think we should have just had that ready when Resurgence dropped, except for things that they purposely removed, like raid mode. I get that, but anyway, they finally added that back, and I'm sure that is also helpful for you guys who like to play solo and grind without other people interfering. After that, we had, well, of course, just so y'all know, I will be skipping some updates in between. There are good things with these updates, but I'm just going to the ones specifically that I feel made the important changes, or the ones that were a bigger deal. So the next one I'm jumping to is 6.0.7. Got some much needed fixes with the guns, a lot of new customization, plus a few new open world things like the kill house, which is kind of like a target practice area with a timer. Then 6.0.8, we got the entire quarry revamp with a really cool elevator underground system. Paratrooping was fixed, and so much customization was added, especially with a lot of new uniforms. There was a lot more that you could mess around with your loadout and your avatar. 6.0.9. This was a game changer for open world. AI were now on another level of intelligence and truly knew how to interact with the environment depending on where you are. This is a highly underrated update, as I think it made open world actually fun in that it provided a real challenge now. You got new AI types as well, and again, a lot more customization and an FOB revamp. Things stayed similar, but they started to look a little better. I personally think they should use the background hallway when you're in that main menu as the spawn point. They should make a map that's built to look similar to that, because I just think that lobby hallway, I'll call it, looks very cool. I've always wanted them to throw that in the game somehow. Maybe they can do that with that new zombie mode, which I will talk about later at the end of the video. But yeah. So in between 6.0.9 and 6.1.2, we got repelling back-end fixes and some AI buffs. Those were just some in-between things. But like I said, back to 6.1.2, the update came that I think I can't thank the devs enough for. We got RGE, and especially the camera system with it was very helpful. This was a game changer for YouTube content, and even those of you that just want to be a little more creative. You could build things in the world. Again, this is only with private servers, but yeah, you could build things in the world. You could make your own maps, create your own challenges, make different events that you can do with the community, and of course there was stealth friendly fire with that, so you could make maps with it. And that's what I do on my channel a lot for live streams. So if you want to see custom built maps for PvP that we can do on live streams in open world, and even just custom battles against the AI, be sure to subscribe so you can join those when I go live. Following this was 6.2. This was huge because quests were a hit and added much more to do in the game and added a livelihood to the once dead city. I also believe I did a cinematic for this, so I can put that in the description. With many of these big updates, I do cinematics alongside to help you see the new things in general and just everything that comes with these updates, because I enjoy making them, and there's some nice quick reviews, and there'll definitely be more coming for future updates. With this, we also got the UI rework, much needed, more customization of course, and new guns. Then we got some quality of life stuff, my favorite being the flashlight actually shining more than 1 foot. But also spectating in PvP was nice, and then just a bunch of bug fixes and glitch fixes, which was still much needed. And now we arrive at something that's more present day, 6.3. We got melee, a new loadout screen, new customization, and guns. Following that pretty closely, we got 6.4, which was kind of like a part 2 to that previous update. We got the Rano server-wide nuclear event. It's kind of a mouthful, but yeah, it was just a great way to create a server interactability that everyone was involved in. I think that was a really cool decision and added a new aspect to the game we didn't have before, and we know that there's something that's going to be following up to that that makes it important, because the ending song after it is called It's Not Over. I can play that now for you guys, but that was the credit scene, so and I've had some devs in my chats and whatnot, and they kind of said like that specific event is important for updates that will be coming in the future. In what way, I have no idea. And if you guys want to hear more about some of the things I've heard from the devs, because I had one, his name is Panzer, in one of my streams, you can go to one of my most recent videos. I can put it in the description as well, and it says something like talking with a BRM5 dev. I also had Nar in my live chat for a recent stream, and I can try and find which one that is and put it in the description as well. And I just want to give a shout out to the music, especially like the new Sunrise music. So shout out to Panzer, because I really like the new stuff that we got with that update, and even the noises for the various things in the underground bunker that they call the final Ronograd area. That was sick, and it was great for the cinematic, and it was a very fun thing to experience, and even its map itself was built very well. I don't know who built that specific part of it, maybe Gravity, but that was done very well. And the stealth mechanics were also added with this update, which was just a cool integration to the game. It made you have a reason to try and not rush in immediately and kind of stay back. It's really good for snipers, gives you some extra money, so that was nice. And also we got an optic revamp, which, dude, the optics look so good now. Not that they were bad before, but they just got improved, and I like them a lot at this point. So, from 1 year ago to now, I think there has been a radical change. It's completely different in my opinion. If it had released how it is right now, I can't imagine how happy the community would be. There's always things people find to complain about, and I will talk shortly here about things that I think can still be improved. But overall, I think we are now facing the best Roblox shooter game on the platform. Its open world is huge, with amazing map design, amazing sound, amazing AI for Roblox at least. And its PvP has some very good gameplay. It's pretty fast paced. It still needs some work, and I know we will be getting new PvP in the future that I think will launch this game to even newer heights. Now moving on to things that I will recommend, suggest, or future things that we will be getting soon. So, first off, there should be a new PvP mode. They've already confirmed that this is happening and talked a little bit about it, but I'm just saying that I definitely think that this is a good move, and it really does need to be good, because if they're going to do a new mode, this is the first time we're really getting one in years. I don't count raid mode because it was removed. I mean, we just have open world and PvP, so this is the first addition that we're getting, and it's going to be specifically on the PvP side. It better be good, because it's the first time in a while, and I think people definitely have high expectations. So I don't think we have exact details. We have a few things we know, actually, from what Panzer and Nar said on my stream, but we don't know much, and I'm just hoping for the best in that. Another thing I'd like, this is very random, but a default wave that you can send to each base with RGE. So basically, every single base has its waves that it sends to you after you capture it. When you capture Orandegello City, sometimes a truck will come at you, sometimes a set of helicopters will come at you. So I just want them to make it to where in RGE you can type a command that will send those waves. That way when I do streams with the community, I can send a few of those waves to increase the difficulty and add some live server interactability. Another thing that I'd just like to mention is the head bobbing glitch. When you're in the camera of RGE, this has happened in the cinematic camera a little bit, but very much so in the studio camera. I don't know if the devs have noticed this, but I see it sometimes where when I'm in that camera, people's heads are like glitching up and down rapidly. That could just be me, but I doubt it because I've seen it multiple times and over a good course of time. Another thing would to be make more cinematics, official cinematics, or other sorts of videos to promote the game. Maybe just talking about upcoming updates or your plans, or a podcast within yourselves, just Q&A, anything like that. Because if you do more stuff like that to promote the game, I believe that it would be very beneficial. I think many people on YouTube are looking for a game like this, and with as quality and as good looking as BRM is now, I definitely think you get a lot of new players if you promoted this on social media, more specifically in video format. Look at the Operation Viper trailer. It has 72,000 views. And I think you have the people definitely that could do that. Kit seems pretty talented. But I'd be happy to try and make a cinematic. I don't know if I'm on the quality to do that, but I will do them on my own anyway, even if y'all wouldn't ask me to, because I just enjoy making them. I just think they're a fun project to work on, and I'm sure the dev team would enjoy that. I think Panzer said that a lot of them definitely do want to do that. Also, random suggestion, we should get KP back with his guitar. I think he was the guy that was holding the guitar behind that one house. It'd be cool if we had a little Easter egg back in the form of that, and maybe a new song that Panzer can put together real quick. I don't know, something like that would be fun. I think those little details add a lot of character to the game. And another suggestion, maybe increase the road size in the like quest city, because there's vehicles that spawn in there for the various quests and also people that drive through it. And often if there's more than one person, you have no way to go around, or you just end up running into crap or like invisible barriers. So maybe if those roads could be expanded a little bit, or just find some other solution, that would be nice, because I think that's definitely an issue sometimes, especially on bigger servers. Now, I'm going to talk about what is to come, solely things that we know are coming in the future. So, we are getting a quote-unquote large PvP mode. This has to be good, and it should have queuing, in my opinion, that puts you in rounds that are already going on. That way, if there's not enough of a player base to have the ridiculous amount of people you need to queue, you would go into a round that's at least, say they're doing 25v25, it would put you in a round that's at least got 16 and 15 people on each team. That way you get to play, and if people leave, it's not like game over for one team. I think that's important, and Taco mentioned this on his video, so that's where I got the idea of that. We know this mode will have vehicles too, by the way, because Panzer said that it will have turret ducking coming with it, so the ability to like kind of go back into your vehicle so you don't get shot when you're on the vehicle turrets. The other mode is zombie mode, obviously. This will be coming sometime in the future. I think they said it'll be after the PvP mode they're working on, though. And this will be its own thing, we know. Not something that'll be an open world. It might have zombies in open world, but it will at least have its own solo mode. That has been confirmed by Panzer. And could things that they've said change still? Maybe. It seems like most of this is set in stone, but just something to keep in mind. And there's much more we know that's confirmed for the future, so please check out my video with Panzer in the description. It's a clip from my stream where he joined. That's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have ideas of your own, suggestions of your own, please make yourself heard in the comments. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.